Just when we thought we were in the clear, it looks like we're officially at risk of Coyote vs. Acme being deleted forever. From wild studio demands, to baffling rejections, to reports that David Zaslav may not have even watched the movie at all. All the sad details right here. So, you all know the story by now, but in case you're lost or you want to catch up, here's a brief recap of this entire, completely loony saga so far. In August 2018, Warner's announced that they were developing Coyote vs. Acme, the latest animated live-action hybrid Looney Tunes film based on a humour article published by Ian Frazier in The New Yorker in 1990, which saw Wile E. Coyote attempting to sue the Acme Corporation after decades of malfunctioning products resulted in personal injuries, loss of business income, and mental suffering. In December 2020, the movie was announced as being in development for the HBO Max streaming service. The studio, however, was seemingly so enthusiastic with the project that they soon shifted it to a theatrical release with a date of July 21, 2023. In 2021, Warner Bros. Was bought out by Discovery, ushering in a new corporate team, led by new CEO David Zaslav. On April 26, 2022, the film was seemingly reconsidered again, leaving the release schedule altogether and replaced by eventual box office juggernaut Barbie. Despite this, Coyote vs. Acme began filming in May 2022, completing a few months after. In August 2022, it was the start of the Warner Animation Decimation, as Warner's, under the thumb of Zaslav, began completely removing animated titles from HBO Max while cancelling a number of in-production projects, all in the name of substantial tax write-offs. This followed the cancellation of live-action DC Universe feature Batgirl. Others managed to make a quick escape, with upcoming Batman animated series revival Caped Crusader and holiday film Merry Little Batman acquired by Amazon for their Prime Video streamer. Merry Little Batman launched on the service Christmas 2023. Also in August 2022, it was looking like a handful of in-production Looney Tunes movies, including musical feature Bye Bye Bunny starring Bugs, and a Looney Tunes cartoons adventure The Day the Earth Blew Up starring Porky and Daffy, were said to be the next titles to face the Zaslav axe. This decision was completely reversed only weeks later, in September 2022, with Warner's confirming they were shopping the films around for distribution. It would eventually be announced that Day the Earth Blew Up was acquired by GFM Animation for theatrical release. This all, however, still raised doubt on Coyote vs. Acme, which hadn't received an update throughout this entire ordeal. But by June 2023, it looked like things were turning around for good. Former DreamWorks CCO Bill Damashki took the reins as president of the newly branded Warner Bros. Pictures Animation, hailing a brand new strategy that would put a focus on filmmakers, promising a bunch of previously in-production movies and a few with unknown fates, including Coyote vs. Acme, would be completed and eventually find release. However, by November 9, 2023, Warner Bros. Announced the movie was set to be canned after all due to a global strategy shift, which Hollywood Reporter claimed a direct ramification of Damashki's hiring. Deadline reported that Warner's was set to use it as a $30 million tax cut, making it the latest casualty of the Warner Animation Decimation. But thanks to a gigantic cast, crew, and peer social media uprising, furious over the decision, announced only days after the end of the SAG-AFTRA strikes, and a huge fan uproar that caused Coyote vs. Acme to trend online for the best part of a week, news trickled out that Warner's was set to reverse the decision and shop the film around to potential distributors. On New Year's Day 2024, voice actor Eric Bowser sent out a cryptic tweet reading, "See ya in 2024," and shared a brand new image from the film, suggesting that perhaps the movie had found a new distributor and was on our way sooner rather than later. However, now we have our latest update in this crazy saga, and things are once again not looking good. Thanks to an article by Drew Taylor published by The Wrap on February 9, 2024, we're now learning sordid details of Coyote vs. Acme's last few months. The article claims that in early January, the film's producer Chris DeFaria received a phone call from a WB exec claiming they were ready to get this behind them and close the books on the film. The article notes, with Warner Bros. Discovery's fourth quarter earnings call scheduled for Feb 23, Coyote vs. Acme is running out of time. Many on the film's team feel that the studio will use the ending of the quarter to get the movie off the books for good. It surmises that the film will finally be silenced by a movie studio's balance sheet, with a source close to WB claiming they don't believe they would even announce that they hadn't found a home for the movie. They would unceremoniously delete it, never to be seen again. A few months back, various industry insiders and filmmakers took to social media to announce that they'd seen the movie, sharing their thoughts on it amongst unanimous praise. The article makes mention of these studio screenings, which were held for interested parties, and even claims that WB received handsome offers from Netflix, Amazon, and Paramount, the latter of which apparently proposed a theatrical release component that would allow for Warner Brothers to save face and let audiences see the movie the way it was meant to be experienced. It's further claimed that Warner's wanted something in the ballpark of $75 to $80 million for the film, covering its reported $70 million production cost and substantially more than the $30 to $40 million it stood to make on the tax write-down. The article suggests that the studio wanted to not only offload but make a profit on the film. The article doesn't mention why Warner's rejected all the offers, but it's insinuated that the studios weren't able to match Warner's staunch asking price, noting, and what's more, they wouldn't allow the interested studios to counter Warner Brothers' offer. It was a take it or leave it situation, one that the other studios didn't even know they were entering into. The most appalling part about all of this, industry insiders claim that executives didn't even bother to watch a finished cut of the movie before making their hasty, ill-informed decision, with the article stating, Zaslav never saw the movie at all. DeLuca and Abdi saw a director's cut, and Damashki saw the first audience preview. These executives, who trumpet a filmmaker-first approach and have recently signed big deals with directors like Ryan Coogler and Paul Thomas Anderson, were apparently prepared to trash a movie that they'd never even watched. It's also claimed that filmmakers were left in the lurch throughout the entire process, as Warner Brothers refused to share specific details with the filmmakers about the proposed deals, and Warner Brothers' rejection of those deals. Everything was captured through a hazy fog of second-hand phone calls and conversations. There were champions of the project for sure, but they couldn't force Warner Brothers to properly communicate with the filmmakers. The article surmises that, now 90 days later, with the hashtag #SaveCoyote hashtag still present on social media, it feels like the end of the line for Coyote and all of his Looney Tunes friends, and barring a similar outpouring of support, or without a big offer in the next few days, that'll be all, folks. So, it looks like the final nail is in the coffin for our poor Coyote pal. This is all, and without hyperbole here, just so utterly disappointing, devastating, and frankly, infuriating. This film is the work of so many incredible artists for such a long period of time. It's a massive slap in their face that this entire creative endeavor could just be scrapped so nonchalantly, with seemingly very little regard for anybody involved. Likewise, it's a slap in the face for fans who've been championing the project and making their voices very loud and very clear that we want Coyote versus Acme. My thought, the gigantic Warner Discovery Corporation doesn't want to put out a movie that shines a negative light on gigantic, careless corporations. Genuinely, I don't see any way this thing legally sees the light of day unless someone steps in with a gigantic offer at the final hour. Though I have no doubt in my mind that some creative somewhere has this stored on a hard drive somewhere, and even if it takes 20 years, I think we'll see this someday, somehow. And at that, I want to know, how are you feeling about all of this news, and will we see Coyote versus Acme, or is it gone for good? As always, join the conversation down below and let me know your thoughts.